Poll is no tax cuts for the wealthy, huge benefits for the middle class, and projected a cut in the deficit of about $1 trillion over the next 10 years. You ready to sign on?
Not quite, George. I mean, I think everything he said is dead wrong. No tax breaks for the rich. They are repealing the estate tax. The estate tax only applies to the top 0.2%. Millionaires and billionaires like the Walton family of Walmart, like the Koch brothers family, like the Trump family. $269 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2% over the next 10 years. This is not a tax break for the rich. Well, I don't know what a tax break for the rich is. The Tax Policy Institute, in fact, has estimated, based on the information they now have, that at the end of 10 years, 80% of all of the tax benefits go to the top 1%. Further, in the midst of all of this stuff, there is a $450 billion cut in Medicare. Now, you may remember that when Trump ran for president, he promised working families, oh, he's not going to cut Medicaid, he's not going to cut Medicaid. $1 trillion cut in Medicaid, $450 billion cut in Medicare. What this is a massive transfer of wealth. It's the Robin Hood principle in reverse. He's taking from working families and low-income people and giving it to the super rich, and creating a $1.5 trillion deficit at the end of 10 years.
As you know, the president is actively courting Democrats. He appeared in Indiana with Senator Joe Donnelly this week, Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, Joe Manchin of West Virginia. All of them are up in 2018. If a Democratic senator votes for this bill, will you support a primary challenge?
Look, the issue is, I would hope that Democrats from one end of this country to the other would be fighting this proposal. This is not politics, George. This is just really bad policy. And I'm not clear why anybody would support a proposal which gives massive amounts of tax breaks to the people who don't need it at a time of incredible income and wealth inequality in America. If anything, right now, what we must be demanding is that the wealthiest people in this country start finally paying their fair share of taxes. They don't need more tax breaks.
What would that be?
I'm sorry?
What would that be? What should the top rate be?
Well, that's something we have to work on. But when you have the top 0.1% now owning almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%, it is very clear to me that the wealthiest people in this country have got to start paying their fair share of taxes. You got major corporations making billions of dollars a year in profit, stashing their profits in the Cayman Islands and Bermuda, and at the end of the year not paying one nickel in federal taxes.
Any tax cuts you would support right now?
I'm sorry?
Any tax cuts you would support right now?
Well, I think we got to focus on the needs of the middle class and working families of this country. Those are the people who need help, not the top 1%.
What would that mean?
Well, I think you can raise the standard deduction. I think what Trump was talking about is right, but he gives with one hand and he takes away with the other by repealing the personal exemption. We also need to expand and improve the earned income tax credit to help working families. So there's a lot that can be done. But bottom line is, when you have massive income and wealth inequality, when the rich are getting richer and most Americans are getting poorer, you don't give tax breaks to billionaires, you give tax breaks to the people in need.
You've got more than a dozen Democrats now supporting your Medicare for All plan in the Senate. You're campaigning hard all across the country. Two quick questions. How do you respond to those who say you're pulling the party too far to the left? And is it fair to say, given your activities, you're not ruling out another run for president in 2020?
Well, let me just say, the idea of a Medicare for all, the idea that the United States of America should join every other major country on earth in guaranteeing health care to every man, woman, and child, this is not a radical idea. In fact, poll after poll shows that a majority of the American people support that idea. People want to know why, as a nation, George, we are spending twice as much per capita on health care as do the people of Canada or many of the European countries, while our health care outcomes are not necessarily as good. And people also want to know why we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. So I don't see this as a radical idea. I see it as an idea that more and more people want. Medicare today is a very popular program. It's the most popular health insurance program in the country. Let's expand it to everybody over a 4-year period.
Senator Sanders, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Roundtable.